Hello, everyone, and welcome back to GregTech New Horizons. It has been a couple weeks since we have been back, but now we are back. And needless to say, a lot has been done, but also very little because I was making sure not to progress. And I know this video is going to be all over the place because, to be honest, I have been eating dirt this entire time while trying to record, and it's pretty bad. So I'm going to try and make my brain stay on track, but I can't make any promises, that is. So, what has been done? Well, I have been live over on my Twitch channel, so I do highly recommend you go check that out. But besides the point, we have done quite a bit of work, and when I say quite a bit of work, it's really just remodeling and resource collection, because I made sure not to do too much questing that wasn't documented. The major thing that you can notice is this pathway. So we did add a pathway in stream. Why? I have no clue. I don't know if we went to the nether last episode. That could have been stream. That could have been last episode. I don't really know. You got to realize I'm just throwing myself back into the game. We did do the coke ovens last episode and this big iron tank, which we have been slowly burning coal coke. So that's going to be a big help. Oh, it already has been. When it comes down to the actual base, not much has changed down here. We have a stockpile of coal coke and all of our basic mined ores and stuff like that. We have our smeltery. Not much has changed there. In our chest room, we haven't changed much here either. This has just been resource collection. One thing I did do was I went and collected a bunch of bricks. That's going to be used later this episode. And I also collected what some would say a metric shit ton of bronze, which will also be used this episode. So that's fun and games. When it comes to other stuff, really not much, except a lot of sulfur. The big change is in door number 2, right behind this black curtain, where we will be for the first portion of this episode. So voila. Now, obviously, the two coke ovens, or what am I saying? Bricked blast furnaces are still here. They have been making up a bunch of steel, and yes, I am totally avoiding the fact of what we just noticed. 246 steel for that. But I also went and upgraded this little portion. First, I upgraded our coal boilers to the steel version, which is the large coal boiler. They produce steam a lot faster. I also went ahead and upgraded every single steam machine, steam single block, to a high pressure version, which also does things a lot faster. And then my favorite part of stream was collecting enough resources for 2 more bricked blast furnaces. So let's do that real quick.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
And alrighty, just like that, we now have what we need for the other 4 other 2 bricked blast furnaces, I could say. So, what we're gonna do is, as unfortunate as it is, take down all of these processes, even though they're still working. Destroy the multi-blocks. And just like this, we're going to take it down and build up new ones. Now, how do I want to lay this out? I'm not quite sure. But, we're going to figure it out. I want to keep it in this corner. So I think if I do this, that should be the 3. And if I put one wall here... Let me figure this out. And just like that, that is our 4 bricked blast furnaces done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come over to... What is this wood doing in my inventory? Okay, that was weird. We are going to grab 8 stacks of coal coke. We're going to run into here. Put away all this crud. Grab 4 stacks of iron. Run back in here. And fuel every single one of these brick blast furnaces. And just like that, we'll be making 4 stacks of steel every way too long because this is not effective whatsoever. But hey, I can say that I'm causing pollution. Ain't that the name of the game? Well, to me it is. Alrighty, now for moving forward, that is. Where are we going to go from here? Well, not in LV, that is. In case anybody thought that's where we're going, no, we're going far from LV. We're actually going to this little page right here called Mass Processing, which is going to lead us into the many 7 steam multis. Yes, I had to count because I didn't do that previously. And this is where the Steam Age is pretty much going to hit its end for this series in making all of our steam multis. And these are not fun. I did look at them. They're a lot of bronze. But thankfully, like I said before, we have a metric shit ton of bronze. Now, where are we going to put these steam multis? I haven't really thought about entirely, but I also have because it was part of the stream work that I did. And yes, this stairway is very annoying to get up. Besides that, this little path continues on past the base, and it leads up to the top of this little hill, which was in fact renovated, and now I have a brutish zombie chasing after me. Fun. I missed. This is pretty much what I do to avoid mobs, is... Oh, he deflected it. How fun. Give me my bow. Give me my arrow back at least. Okay, what the hell? Okay, I killed his chicken. Now it means he's going to be a lot faster. Gravity creeper? No thank you. Let's fast forward to when this guy's actually dead. Okay, that was painfully hard. More painful than it needed to be. But back to what I was saying. We had renovated the top of this mountain for specifically this video, because right here is where the steam forgery is going to go. I don't know why I called it a steam forgery. That just sounded cool in the moment. Who knows? But pretty much we did this little, I don't know, wall thing. I don't really know. Gotta remember, all this is just randomly, this stuff isn't planned, guys. That's just how we operate around here. But pretty much, we are going to lay out the foundations for this build, and then we're going to start building. Because what else is there to do besides build a new building? So let's get into planning this, and then we're going to build it. Alrighty. So I have an idea for the build, and it's going to be rather small because it's going to go deeper into the ground just because of the space we're working with, and I don't entirely want to build something huge. So the base of the building is going to be back here, and we're going to leave a little bit of space, so we're going to put it about, right there is about good. So that's going to be the back corner, and I think we're going to go over, I don't know, let's see. Alright, so that's about 20 blocks over. And I think that should work. But I think we're going to extend it out this way 4 more blocks. So we're going to have 24 on the back. And then forward is where it's going to get weird. So we're going to build, let's see. That's going to be 12 forward. And back here, we're going to go 10 forward. I'll show why in a second. And just like that, that is 10 forward. And then we're going to go over about, let's see, this is 24. We're going to go over about 10 as well. And just like that, we're going to bring it back over this way and cap it right there. Let's see, this is, what did I say this was? This was 12 on the back. We're going to actually move it up to 14 on the back so that there's a little more definition between these two parts of the building. And just like that, we now have two different sects of the building. Because this little part is going to be a extension onto the main building. And that's pretty much what's going here. And then from here, we're going to add in 2 in. We're going to add this out about, give or take, 8. And just like that, that is 10, and that is 8. And just like that, we kind of have the foundations for the building. And what's going to be is this is going to be our little entrance area. So we're probably going to have some crafting areas, maybe, I don't know, some storage, some monitoring, who knows? I don't really know. And then here is where the factory is going to hold. You know, I don't really know. We could have some basic machinery in here, depending on how much they fit. If not, this is just going to be like a general area where you can see everything from the top down. I have a sort of idea for this. And then over here is where we're going to hold our tanks and pretty much our steam, water, anything of that sorts, because all steam machinery is pretty much getting moved into this building. So now that we have the outline built, now it's time for the actual building. So let's do that and see how this goes. And voila. Well, we finally finished the Steam building, and wow, that took quite a while, but I'm pretty proud of it. And it is a little bland, but we worked with what we had, and it actually turned out really well. And if you want to see more building processes like this, I'm just going to take the time to say, majority of this building was done on my stream, so head over to Twitch, PerPlur 0, or whatever my Twitch is. I don't know. Check the description, and it'll be in there. And obviously, we're going to be doing more things like this in the future. Plenty of more things. But besides from that, it's time we start moving on to the actual point of this episode. Since we're going to do that, I guess we might as well give you a tour of the building and where we're going to put the things that this video is about, I guess we can say. Well, starting off, we have this main entrance area. What I'm going to do here yet, I'm not quite sure. But we have this main hall building, yeah, so big, but very empty. Steamworks by PerPlur. Had to add a little cool wall markings. And then in here, we're probably going to have iron tanks or something. Maybe steam generation, I don't know. But here's where the fun comes in. If we head down here, these little catwalks, head down these ladders, we're going to descend into the actual factory. And obviously I haven't worked on it yet because, well, that's what this episode's about, is actually working on this little factory. So, what we're going to do is we are going to pretty much dig out a huge room in here for all of our steam machinery, our coke ovens, maybe not the coke ovens. Might save that for a different thing. But it's definitely going to be like our big steam machinery. We're going to have a lot of steam processing in here, and pretty much the entire factory in our base over there is going to get moved over here. So, that's going to be next. But what we're going to do first is we're going to go home, and I'm going to show what all we're crafting. Because right before recording this, I went ahead and saved the time to go ahead and do all the NEI auto crafting setup. You've seen me use it before. You're going to see me use it plenty of times throughout this series. These are all the steam machines we are making. This is 6 out of the 7 machines. Haha, y'all are so funny. Yeah, no. What? Okay, I took damage, and I was like, what? Alright, so these are all the steam machines. Thousands of pieces of bronze. I think I calculated it to be, I don't know, roughly around 3,400. So 3,400 bronze. That's not including all the other resources that I will need. But we do have 4,000 bronze. And we have another 400 plates, which will actually cut down on the cost a lot. So that'll be nice once we get it all a-running and going. We also have the materials to make the LV counterparts for, I believe it's the separator and the grinder, maybe? No. There's 2 things that need the LV counterparts. Yeah, no, it's definitely the separator because it's got all that stuff in it. Not needed, because I have them down here. The input hatch ULV for water. So that's going to be that's actually, I think, the purifier. Yeah, it's the purifier and the separator, because they both use liquids. There we go. Finally got around to it. And then this is the final steam machine, the blender. But a cool thing about this, before I build it, is the fact in version 2.9, which I don't know when is going to come out exactly, but in 2.9, the blender costs probably about half the price. So we're not building that until 2.9, because that's a lot of bronze, to say the least. So what we're going to do is we're going to go clear out that room, make the room, and then start working on the steam multi-blocks. Steamworks. Let's do it. And here's the steam room, the brand new steam room, which is going to house all of our machines. I think we're also going to bring our single blocks down here. We might. I don't know yet. But aside from that, it's kind of funny how I built pretty much this entire huge building, huge, just emphasizing huge, for everything to pretty much go downstairs. But besides from that, I think it's time we start working on some steam machines. And that's going to be this big page. So what we're going to do is we're going to go home and start crafting the first machine. And that first machine is going to be the steam presser, which is going to require 314 bronze plates, which, if we do some quick if I just open my calculator app and I do this divided by 2 and times it by 3, that is 471 bronze that we will need for these bronze plates. And easy enough, just like that, we have, or at least we should have, everything we need for the steam grinder. Or steam presser, sorry. I was wrong there. Steam presser. Now, obviously, we do need, it seems, 2 more iron blocks, and I do believe I have 1. So that's simple enough to make just by getting, let's see, let's clear out the inventory a little more. And do that. And there we go. Pretty much, we run in here, come over to our compressor. No, not the forge hammer, the compressor. Obviously, it's still compressing up stuff. Put that in there. Just for the time being. We have it making good old wrought iron, so pretty much what I do is just take the wrought iron, stick it in here, make plates with it, and voila. Using the really boring nugget recipe, so yeah, we're gonna be boring like that. Then, I also did make a lot of plates, so we do have a good chunk of plates ready. That should be everything for it except the hatches and everything. And we only need 1 set right now, so we need to get all these plates. And that's not fun, is it? Well, alright. And finally, just like that, we have enough to make those 3 with an extra steel plate, which is always nice. And we can finally put away these tools, not these guys, and we can go construct our very first steam machine. So let's get right over there, just like that. Oop, whoops, it is nighttime. And now it is not nighttime. So let's get down here and figure out where we want to put our steam presser. That is, if my fat ass can get down the ladder. Now, I think in the middle is where we are going to put our steam boiler. So I figured, let's start the machines off in this corner and wrap around. No, that is a lie. I want to start from this corner and wrap around. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this steam presser and figure out what is its dimensions. It is a 5x5 with 3, 3, and 3. Okay. So if I get these and I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know what? Let's do this. Oh, I need a wrench for that. Let me go grab a wrench. Okay, now that we have a wrench, let's pick up these casings. Oh wow, this takes a while to mine. Oh. Not fun. Not at all. I will learn from these mistakes. That I will. Okay, so that should be the size of this thing. Now we need to figure out how do we actually, well, put it together. So layer 1 is that, so we can fill it in. Then I think I'm going to put, let's see. We need to put in a steam hatch, an input bus, and an output bus. I think for the sake of running tunnels, we're going to put the steam hatches right down here in the bottom. Because I do plan on running a utility tunnel under here. So let's definitely plan on that. Okay, so I need to figure out how I want to do this. I think we're just going to dig a hole down here. Just for right now. So that'll give us room to work under the machines. And up until we get, obviously, a better entrance, that's just going to be the entrance. And we're going to get the steam hatch. Now, I am preying on the fact that I can do this. I don't currently know yet, and we're going to find out. Now, I'm going to put input right here, and then output right here, so we'll have our I/O done. Okay, so input bus and output bus. So now that should be the first level. Now we need the second level, which is this weird thing. So it's a square and then 2 on the side with the steam press right here. And we take these guys, do that, and that. Okay, so these guys attached, not so much this guy. I don't know, we'll find out. And then we go to tier 3, which seems to be right there. Oh, pressing all the wrong buttons. And tier 4, which is another layer, and then our iron block. Get this guy back, we're going to need him. And then, well, move on to tier 5, which is the same thing. I'm sorry if this is very repetitive. This is my first time doing this, so we're all here for the journey. 6, and then the number after 6. We all know what it is. And it looks like our roof is just perfectly high enough, which is awesome. And then, what is it? It's 2? Like that. And that should be... voila. It should be done. And the steam hatch did join in on it. So that is our very first steam machine. How about that? So now it's pretty much the same process, and for the sake of this video and actually finishing it, I think I'm going to go ahead, create all the steam machines, get a little, oh, should I say another time lapse. See, guys, this is just a time lapse filled video. If you want a fuller explanation, oh, that's not even a word. If you want a better explanation onto what is going on, I would encourage you to stay towards the end of the video. I will have timestamp below where I plan on explaining everything. And yeah, because moving forward from this episode, I'm not going to get into it. We're going to have a few changes. I'm just trying to get back into the flow. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to build the rest of these machines. And yeah, let's get it going. Alrighty, and just like that, we now have every single steam multi done. Now, pretty much all we have to do is set up our boiler and route it all somewhere. So that's going to be fun. Thankfully, we already have all the resources for the boiler, so makes things a lot more easier. And all we have to do is come over here, make sure we have everything, craft it all up if we have the inventory space, which we don't, of course not. Finish crafting it at least. And just like that, we now have our huge railcraft boiler. And we're going to place all this back in its respective spots, just so that we don't lose it, because that would be a me thing to do. Head back over to the factory. Hop down here, because it's just too long. And now all we do is place the boiler. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like that. We're going to place a torch on each side of the boiler, just because this place is not lit up enough, obviously. And then we have just enough to add 3 high on this entire boiler. And just like that, that is our high pressure railcraft boiler with a lot of capability. And I mean a lot. Well, it turns out that I actually had the wrong boilers. I needed the solid steam boilers, not the liquid fueled ones. So I did remake those. So this way I'll be able to do charcoal and then creosote in buckets. I'll be able to do both, and I'll show that in a second. So I did go ahead and hook everything up, but it is not done quite yet because we are missing a few things. First of all, this is not self-sufficient. It is going to run out very soon. The only reason it has accumulated is because I put a few things in there just to get it running so that I can use the machines. But what I started doing was I started working on the utility area. Starting off with the main thing here is our steam tank, which will slowly fill up over time with steam from that guy. Now going over here is where we're actually fueling this, what do you call it, boiler. And pretty much what I have is right now 8 coke ovens all burning simultaneously, getting pumped wood from up here, and burning for charcoal and creosote. Now, currently, I only have the charcoal line set up. I haven't run the logistics for creosote yet, because I soon realized that I need pretty much 20 boilers, or 20 coke ovens running. So that's why I cleared out this little area. It's because I'm going to get 20 coke ovens running. That's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. But I'm going to do it because it's needed, and then we'll finally be able to put a bow on this episode. But pretty much how this is going to work is I'm going to come down here, put wood into this barrel. It will fuel those coke ovens. Those coke ovens will fuel this boiler. This boiler will produce steam. And thus, that steam will get provided to all of these machines. This is going to be a lot, and I mean a lot, of backlogging and a lot of time waiting for backlogging. So, I guess without further ado, let's get this fully set up. And with what felt like a metric shit ton of years, the pipe spaghetti is finished, the steam is pumping, and we even fueled our very first steam machine, the steam presser. So now it's time to explain this mumbo jumbo of crap. So basically what happened, and yes, I also did upgrade the steam tank. I decided to max it out because I had the extra casings around. But what is happening here is the whole start of the process starts right up here where we deposit wood into this better barrel. After that, the wood gets taken down through this pipe right here and distributed among the 20 coke ovens that we have throughout here. There's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. After the wood is put into the coke ovens, it is burned into then charcoal and creosote. This charcoal is pumped out through these hoppers and taken through this pipe up into our boiler. Now, what is also taken out through these hoppers are the buckets of creosote. And the buckets, you're probably wondering, oh, how did the buckets get in? Well, right through this barrel in this hopper, following this line, which actually is terribly designed, and there's a lot of places where I just can't move because of it. So, yeah, and I don't know why that's like that. Whatever. So, pretty much every single one of these is being pumped with buckets and wood. In return, the charcoal and the creosote is being pumped out through this single line into our boiler. Sorry for those who have motion sickness. This is a lot of moving. It is pumped right up here into this boiler where it burns, keeps burning, and is sufficely burning. I don't even know if that's a word, but who cares? Then the empty buckets that come from these creosotes are being pumped back through this hopper, down into that pipe, and back into this drawer where it cycles through. And there's probably 200 something buckets cycling through here, so the amount of iron that costs, and the amount of tin for these tin pipes. The unfortunate part about this is when we move into LV, preferably next episode, this process is going to be completely destroyed and remade. So it'll be a lot better, needless to say. But, hey, that's for another day. All that matters is we're pumping steam. We can't even pump it out fast enough, it seems. So I might have to get bigger bronze pipes. But we're gathering steam at a very fast rate. And, yeah. So now all that matters is hooking up the rest of these machines, which is actually going to be easy, because I have the bronze pipes. All I do is, like that, connect it up, make sure that steam goes in, and other than that, that's the basis of what we wanted to do. It's good that we finally got this set up, though, because now, with all of these steam multis, things are going to be a lot quicker. And when I say quicker, I mean sorry, I'm just trying to find where these ports are. Okay, so I think that's all of them. It's going to mean that making plates and stuff like that is going to be a lot easier. We unlock a few recipes that'll make things easier. And when we want to get an LV mass producing into, or not mass producing, batch crafting is going to be easier. It's going to be a lot easier to get these things that we need. And now with that, every single one of these steam multis should be fueling up with steam. Obviously very slowly because I think it's starting at this. This one doesn't work yet. I forgot about that. We are still missing one hatch that I cannot afford yet until we get an LV. But the rest of these do work. Why are these not pumping with steam is the question. Alright, well, there we go. Now they're all filled with steam. It turned out that I was just an idiot and this pipe was never actually hooked up to this iron tank, but now steam is flowing out into the machines and they're all working. So yeah, what an accomplishment. We have finally, in my opinion, finished off the steam age. How about that? And now it's conversation time. So, thank you, first off, to anyone who made it through this video, because just saying this in advance, it might have been a little hard to sit through. I don't know yet, but I know for a fact that it has been all over the place, and I do sincerely apologize for that. That is just my brain working in ways that don't always make things easy. But besides from that, I want to pretty much talk about what's going to be happening moving forward. So, obviously, we're finishing up semester right now, so
I will have a lot more free time, to say the least. But I'm going to spend that in a few different ways. I obviously have my own projects that I'm working on, and this is even one. This is a big thing that I'm working on is my channel, and I plan to do just that. So, I do want to say that I will expect more videos to be up. I do want to try and increase the amount of videos that we get out, because I know for the past really for the entire channel, it's been like months in between videos, and I'm not a fan of that, and I know viewers usually aren't either. So, I do plan on getting more videos out. Now, when it comes to the videos themselves, I'm not quite sure how I want to lay them out or how I want to pretty much run the video. Like, we've been doing PerPlur's Makeshift guide. It's been chaotic. That's the whole gist of it. But it's been a little hard to do chaotic since a lot of this stuff needs to be planned and there's just a lot of work that goes into it. So, for anybody who maybe has any suggestions, I'm willing to hear the suggestions. If you leave them in the comments or however you manage to get your suggestion to me, I greatly appreciate it. And I'm willing to hear what the viewers think of these videos and what y'all think would make them better, what to improve on, stuff like that. How you would like to see the videos presented, how you would like to see content presented, stuff like that. So that's basically what I'm trying to get at. But the other thing is, I'm going to be streaming a lot more. And when I say a lot more, I mean a lot more. Like, as of now, I've been streaming on Twitch probably about every week. But I plan to have like multiple streams a week type stuff. And that does mean that there probably will be content clips that come from stream. That even happened in this video. So I do want to encourage you, if you want to see like the little behind the scenes, I guess you could say, to come over to Twitch, come see when I'm streaming. I know I have said this in the description quite a while. I said this in like my very first video. Second we get to 100 subscribers, I know it's a little like cringy just because like that seems like a 2017 type thing. But once we get there, I will be opening a Discord, public Discord, for anybody to come hang out, chat, and get the behind the scenes of what's going on with videos. And besides from that, I'm also going to be streaming on YouTube again. Once this video releases, I'm going to reset up my streaming on both Twitch and YouTube so that if perchance you don't want to come over to Twitch, you'll still have the access from YouTube. But that's basically, I wanted to give this message out and just say thank you. And if you have any suggestions, leave them. And that's pretty much all for me. So thank you for tuning into this one. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later, later.